Are we doing? Yeah, we are on. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to GameHounds. We're just doing our pre-show stuff. No Andrew this week. I got the text at 7:15 this morning. Is everybody an hour late today? Because last night was what should we call it?
Daylight savings.
Daylight savings time. It was spring
Where
back.
we lost an hour.
So, fun fact about this time of year. Kevin and I finally, after looking and looking and looking and looking, found a wedding venue that he wanted, and he really wanted that wedding venue. So we go in and we sit down with the wedding planner and say, all right, what dates have you got for next year? And they said, we only have one date available next year, a Saturday. And it was in April. We were like, really? Awesome. Let's do it. So we signed up for it. We paid our deposit, and only halfway through the wedding planning process did we realize that that was the Saturday of daylight savings time. And we were required to spend the night at this venue as part of the rental and then leave the next morning by 7 a.m., which means that we had to leave our body clock's time 6 a.m. after a wedding. I was still drunk when I woke up. and not doing good. It was miserable, but it was still an awesome wedding. But yeah, whenever there's spring back, I always remember my painful first morning as married. Oh, it was painful. I was hurting hard. Hurting hard. Hey, I got AC Race in the chat room. How you doing? So I think I have solved, for the most part, our podcast issue, the audio podcast issue. So we will find out. I am going to start the audio. I've got me, Nick.
Hello.
You've got you. Put your mic closer to your mouth because you're super low.
Okay. Well, I don't want it to catch me breathing.
We're not going to catch you breathing. Yeah, if you do that. Thank you, Darth Vader.
Yeah, even Shepard's like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. Come lean back. You don't have to keep pushing away from me.
All right. So, let's get, since we're running late, we've got all our stories together. The only thing I haven't done is launch YouTube, which I have to do ahead of time, because if I don't, then bad things happen. So let me launch that. All right, we are going to share just a random video that has nothing to do with what we're doing. There we go. All right. All right. So yeah, man, what a terrible situation this Ukraine thing is. It's so depressing, but I'm watching it still because. So I don't know. Did you see the video, or the video of that mortar shell that dropped while somebody was filming and killed the whole family? You could see this guy, and they're talking to this guy in the foreground, and it's a street, and on the other side of the street you see this family of 4 walking down the street, and then the mortar falls in the middle of the street, and of course they drag the guy out, and you can't really see any blood, but you see that there's not much of his body left, the one that they were looking at. And then they run across the street, the family, and all 4 of them, was 4 people, a mother, another person, and 2 children, and their pet dog that was in a carrier, and all of them just instantly died. Turns out the family, the woman who was killed and the two children, the woman was actually a Silicon Valley worker here in California. She worked she was a remote worker in Ukraine, this company that does SEO down in Silicon Valley. They have a lot of their workers in Ukraine, and she had stayed because she had an ailing mother with Alzheimer's, and they were trying to not move her as much as possible because of Alzheimer's. And so finally, the husband left first, and he was out of the country, and then the wife was going to follow with the two kids, and they were instantly murdered.
Yeah, no, I didn't
no
see
other
that.
word for that.
I
They were
don't
murdered, and
need to search out that.
yeah, it's absolutely chilling what's going on over there. And yeah, it ended up being a local connection that it's somebody who worked for a company here, was California worker who died. There's a lot of people leaving the United States to go over to Ukraine to fight. People that have no experience. And I'm not going to lie, when it first happened, I thought about it. I honestly thought about it, because it's like, what have I got to lose? I have somebody take care of my dogs, and I've got no husband, I've got no children. I'm kind of in the perfect position, except being old and fat and don't speak Ukrainian. And I talked myself out of it. And there are literally people like me that are going over there now to fight. 16,000 Americans have left to go fight Ukraine. Yeah, a lot. And Ukrainians are asking for it. It's crazy, but it's happening. Thank you for the link, AC Wraith. If you want to help Ukraine and not load up a plane with, buy body armor and go over and learn how to use a rifle, an SAS, you can buy a bundle for Ukraine. These proceeds go to help humanitarian efforts with not only the refugees that are trying to get out, but as much as they can, the people that are stuck in Kiev, being now rapidly encircled by the Russian military. So, yeah, thank you for also reminding me that if you want to listen to the show as a podcast, you can by going to right below us. That is the correct ID for our show. There are 2 shows on Apple. One of them is hosted by Spreaker. That is dead to me. Dead. It is dead to me. Spreaker, you're dead to me. The other one is hosted by Wizard Media. You will see that in the ID description on the the pathing at the top of the screen. If it says Wizard Media, that's the right one. If it's the one that actually has shows in it, that's the right one that is going to be updated now from now on. I'm going to try and get these shows out no later than Tuesdays. Depends on how much editing I have to do, but we have a solution now that is not reliant upon Spreaker and won't cut me off after 45 minutes of talking, because Spreaker's assholes now.
Good.
iHeartMedia. It was a great platform. And then it got bought out by our iHeartMedia, and then it's changed.
Yeah. I don't think we mentioned it last week, but I know that's the fear a lot of people have with Epic buying Bandcamp.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But Epic, I don't know, Epic seems more human than iHeartRadio. Maybe because they're a video game company and not a recording industry, because video game companies, yeah, they can be sleazy, but record companies have been sleazy for way longer and way sleazier, at least so far.
Yeah.
They have a longer history of just being complete dicks.
Hate their artists.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So anyway. Oh, thank you for reminding me about Discord as well. Our Discord, we have a Discord. Please feel free to join us there. I'm not there as much as I'd like to be. I should be there because now I'm on Discord a lot, but I'm in the monitoring what's going on in Ukraine Discord instead of our own. But there is our Discord channel. You can hook up with other GameHounds listeners. You can there's a section in there for tips for news. Nick gets most of his tips for news out of there. And happy to have you go do that. So yeah, join us there. I also want to do some streaming. I want to do some streaming that goes into Discord from Twitch. I don't know. I have to figure out the technological part of it, but right now my brain is so full of like working on taxes. Thank you very much, dear, for putting that in there. My brain is just all about taxes and
fun.
Anyway, shall we start the show? One thing I would do, I have to use this for is I actually have to use Spreaker to play the intro.
Damn you,
broadcasting the intro? Uh-oh, I have lost you. Spreaker breaks it.
When will you stop haunting us?
Yeah, actually, Spreaker breaks that. Wow, you guys are such dicks. Such hellacious dicks. All right,
Find
let's
another
see.
way to do the intro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to maybe do it through.
If need be, you can bring up YouTube in one of the previous episodes and use the audio from that.
I could, that is not a bad idea. I will have to think about that, but I'm just going to do it from iTunes and just play it so that I can drop it into the actual show. So yeah, let's start the show.
Stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 631. We are recording on Sunday, March 13th, 2022. I'm Edie Sellers and with me is Nick DiNicola. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing very well.
Good. So, yeah, I'm still working through the logistics of things like playing music and adding them after the show, but on the plus side, we now have audio podcast. Yay.
Audio versions.
Yeah. Hey, put your mic closer to your mouth. Your mic is super low.
Okay, how is this?
Much better. Even I would rather have your plosives than not hear you. That's going to be better.
Okay.
All right. So
I don't know why I'm so quiet.
I don't know. I think it's your computer. I think you've got some settings set in your computer that makes it quiet.
Be.
But we'll work it out one of these days. Get everything. It's going to take a little time of reconfiguring things. Nick's got his cats jumping all over the place. Don't forget, if you are listening to this as an audio show, we do this show live as a video cast so that you can actually see the previews, because we're probably going to have videos on our screen that we're going to be commenting about as we talk about them. Whatever games we're talking about, that's the stuff that we put there. So yeah, join us at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Sundays here on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. On Facebook and Twitch, we are the GameHounds. On YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids, VIDS, all one word. But you can join us live, and if you can't, just continue to listen to us as a podcast. So, how was your week, Nick? How are things?
Good. Like I said, I'm doing very well. The rest of the world may be on fire and horrible, but I'm doing well.
Okay, yeah, your nose is your nose is annoying. There you go.
Put it right there, right above the nose.
No, see now it's even worse.
Okay,
So
what about now?
no, that's fine. So what's the world? Holy crap! World War III may very well happen. That is a real possibility at this point.
Yeah, I mean I feel like it's a low possibility, but yeah, certainly higher than it was a month ago, for sure.
Yeah, I'm annoyed that is happening. I'm also terrified that it is happening. Not only for the people that it's happening to now in the Ukraine, but for the whole rest of the world. It's really fucking tense.
Yeah.
Somebody in our neighborhood, we have a dog park just down the street from us, and somebody in the neighborhood, there's a poo bags and canisters and garbage cans to put them the used bags into, and somebody put a picture of Vladimir Putin on the garbage can, and underneath it wrote Putin, Pootin.
Good.
Yeah. So, I'm good. Let's see. It's taxes. I have to do my corporation taxes tomorrow. Actually, I have to do them tonight. Not looking forward to it, but it's got to be done because my life is living on deadlines all the time now. But I am finding myself retreating to Crusader Kings. I guess I can show this to you. It's going to wreck my YouTube share, which is kind of dumb.
You go from a game of paying taxes to a game of charging other people taxes.
Yes, very much so, and raising them sometimes as much as I possibly can.
If only could find a way to get that virtual money to convert into real money.
Yes. So I guess I will share with you. Actually, I'm bigger now than the last time I took a picture, but I will share with you where I'm at. I know I've mentioned this before. My country is the fast food empire. I have actually it's bigger now. It's even bigger. And I actually now have see all that green of the Yusufid?
Yeah.
I have most of that now.
Really?
Yeah.
What's Ob? I've never heard of Ob.
Don't know. Haven't gotten over there yet, but I'm working on it. I have Oberon Osh up in the upper right hand corner. That is now mine. I have where most of the Byzantine Empire.
Man, most of these big nations may as well be fantasy names.
They're not actually.
Silbu, I'd never heard of. Amdo, Kulid.
Yeah, I'm the king of White Rus, which is where where Russian came from, where the Rus.
Oh.
Yep.
You've got most of oh no, not England. You've got most of the Swedish area. Norway, Finland.
No. Yeah, I have Norway, Finland. No, I don't have Norway. Norway is up in the upper. Sweden has taken over most of Norway.
Oh, okay.
I haven't really gone into that yet. I'm at this point now trying to.
No, wait. That says Gauladot up there. It's colored your same purple, but
yeah, Guoladot. Yep.
What is on the left around Francia? Is Francia part of you?
No, France is another empire
because they've got that little bit of yellow holdout in them.
Yeah, that's some other. Who is that? That is. I know who that is. That is Castile, the Spanish, because Castilian Spanish have come up and taken a part of Castile of France, and I have a big chunk of southern France now. Yeah, I've got Sicily, I've got Sardinia. I've got Corsica. I've now moved mostly into the Byzantine Empire and going for Hellas, which is going to be Greece. I'm going to actually be taking most of the Byzantine Empire coast because I'm trying to restore the Roman Empire at this point.
So is there a strategy in, like, is it better to go into those new areas instead of, like, if you look on your eastern front, there are some sections up and down the middle that you don't have. So
Right.
your
The
territory kind of
Zaphoria.
goes up in an arc.
Yeah.
Is it better to go into a new area rather than like take over those holdouts within your own territory?
I am trying to hold out to offer them vassalization as opposed to force vassalization on them because they have so many
Okay.
counties. I can't force them.
Okay.
So I'm trying to kind of make friends and nicey with them to see if they will offer to, or they get okay enough that I can offer them vassalization and they will take it willingly as opposed to
like,
me having to take it over county by county.
We have you surrounded. Everything within miles of you is my territory. Why don't you come join us? Wink.
Right. Because you can't just look at a country and go, I want to take that over. You've got to have a really good reason to take it over. You have to have a casus belli, belli, and a cause. You can't just say, I want it, I'm going to take it. You've got to either fabricate a claim on it, which you have to go county by county by county. And that's a lot of counties in that space. And saying, fabricating a claim on a county, then fabricating a claim on the next county, then fabricating a claim on the next county until you can fabricate the claim on the duchy. There's probably 3 or 4 duchies in there. So it gives you a sense. And each fabrication of a claim can take anywhere from 8 months to 2 years. So we're talking about, it could take an entire lifetime of one ruler to do that brute force, claim it for yourself. The other way you can do it is you can force a vassalization or you can request a vassalization, which is easier. You can only force a vassalization on a much smaller county or much smaller country that doesn't have as many counties in it. So I can't force it. I have to ask them. The other way to do it is to maybe recruit somebody into your court who already has an existing claim, like say a cousin that has a claim to that kingdom. Then you can bring him in there and recruit him into that kingdom, or take over the kingdom on his behalf. He becomes a new king, and then he becomes your vassal because I'm an empire. I get I have the opportunity to actually force that with kingdoms. If I was a king and I installed another king, he would become independent. So it becomes this hierarchy.
So you can't just manifest destiny your way across the continent?
That's why it takes so fucking long. The other thing you can do sometimes is if they have a hostile faith, like for example, it's way easier for me to go into the Middle East because I can have a holy war. I have to have a justification to start a war to take over land. You can't just go, I'm here now and you're out. If it was, this would be easy. Everything takes, and it's all about time. Every step is about time and putting things. Another thing you could do, if the king of Zaporizhia, if the king of Zaporizhia has a daughter and no sons, you could convince him to marry one of your children. Your new child, the next generation after that, when the children's children come to power, they will be a member of your house. So you get your house on the throne, and then you can, because you're the head of the house of foodies, that your dynasty, as the dynasty head, you can actually take that claim from them, take that region from them and claim it for yourself and bring it into your empire. and then gift it back to them. It is you have to think multi generations ahead sometimes in the game. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now, and I've also got other cool things happening. You can now, like I have said that can have your own. You can make your own banners, which is a really cool thing. I had a banner. Where is my screenshot of my?
Yeah, the chicken riding the pig.
Yeah, I think I've shown you the chicken riding the pig, but then I had to reform the empire when I united all the Slavs to I got to unite the Slavs, which is like a big action after you take over everywhere where there was ancient Slavian people. If you take them all over, you can unite the Slavs, and then it creates the Empire of Slavia. I changed the name, of course, back to Fast Food Nation. And I think I have it. So I had the Slavian banner, so I had to redo the Slavian banner. Of course, I made it even better this time. I know I freaking had it. I guess I don't have it. It's now. Do I not have it? Where the hell did it go? There's the Empire of Russia. Okay, there. So I've improved it from this point, but this was my old banner, which was the chicken riding the pig. I have now changed it. It is, and I guess I didn't have it. I thought I took a picture of it. It is now a cow. Sorry, a chicken riding a pig riding a cow.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
you've got all the fast food animals there.
Exactly, all the fast food animals. And of course, now I have the Empire of Russia. So of course, I had to redo the Russian the Russian. God dang it! Come on, stupid screen. I had to do the Russian banner completely because given the state we're in, I had to change it. That's the new Empire of Russia.
Oh yeah,
the banner is sus.
Very. They're sus fast food.
Yeah, they're total sus.
You can't trust them.
No. So yeah, that's Crusader Kings. I'm still constantly amazed that I think I have now 400 or 500 hours into this game total.
That is nuts. I don't have that time in any game.
I mean, granted, this is over a long period of time, but I mean, like I come to it and then I play the shit out of it and then I ignore it and then I come back and I play the shit out of it and I ignore it. But I'm up to like pretty much as soon as I get off work for at least several hours a night, and then I go make dinner and then play with the dogs and then watch some TV and then I'll come back and play another hour or so. So I'm up to like, 30 hours a week. And then on the weekends, I just go full into it, like up to 30 hours a week on this thing.
It's a part-time job running an
It is
empire.
a part-time job, but it says a lot for the game that even this many hours in, and even though I have something like 120,000 troops, just an insane amount of troops. I've got 10,000 gold, more than 10,000 gold in my bank. This is a end game win scenario. Literally no one even if the world got all of their forces together, they would not be able to. Like a huge country has 18,000 troops. I have 120,000 troops. No one can stand against me. And it is still fun to play. So, yeah, still good. And but that's all I've played. Anything you've got?
Yeah, I've actually dabbled in quite a bit this week. I didn't finish Sifu, but I got to the end of my time with Sifu.
Mm-hmm.
I got to the final.
Did you like it? I want to say that you really, really liked it.
Yes, I did. I don't like the final boss though. The final boss.
That's what you said. I remembered that.
I haven't. I didn't get to him last week. But what's cool about the game is that each boss was designed in this way to kind of escalate the challenge, and each boss was designed to feel very different. The first guy kind of jumps around a lot. The second guy has a staff that gives him a long reach. The third is spinning this blade around, and so all of a sudden you can't block because you keep getting chip damage from the blade. The fourth one is very defensive in the way she fights, that she always tries to keep distance from you, which means you have to keep going forward and attacking, which is a very different method of fighting than what you've done up to that point. Most bosses will come at you. She tries to stay away from you. And so that forces you to like approach these fights very differently based on how the boss fights. And each one of them feels really unique. They fight with a unique move set and a unique style more than anything else. As you go through the game, one of the things that you really come to rely on is this thing called a focus attack. So as you hit people, as you dodge, you fill up a focus meter. When it's full, you can hit a button that kind of slows down time and targets an enemy, and you can choose to execute a focus attack on them. And this is an unblockable attack from you that can change depending on what weapon you have, what focus moves you've unlocked. The skill tree has several moves you can unlock. The game really emphasizes use of this focus attack. It's really, really clutch in a lot of ways. What bothered me about the final boss is you can't use the focus attack at all.
Why not? You'd think that that's where you would need it the most.
Yeah. And if you hit the button to focus on him, you just get a little message that says this enemy cannot be focused on or something like that. And it's clearly just a design decision meant to make the fight harder. Just like this arbitrary design decision to make the fight harder is, hey, we're just going to take away this move set that you've relied on throughout the game because it's the final boss and we want him to be hard. And that really, really frustrated me because that, more than anything else in the game, a lot of the game is hard. It's very challenging, and as such, it can be very frustrating, but it was never demoralizing. Every time I beat a boss, I wanted to fight them again. But with the last boss, because it took away this move that I had come to rely on so much, that was the first time the game felt demoralizing. Yeah, if you go Yang, the leader, that's the first time the fight felt demoralizing. Because there's no reason that they took it away other than to just make the fight harder. And what's interesting is there are phases in the fight. Yeah, every boss fight has 2 phases. And I've watched videos of the boss of the game. His second phase is actually really clever, where he doesn't have a health bar. He just has this stamina bar. And what that means, and his stamina bar, after you don't attack him or he doesn't attack, it like goes down and he kind of gets his stamina back, which means the way that fight has to progress is you have to parry all of his attacks. You can't just dodge them. You need to parry them because that is how you reduce the enemy's stamina. So I think that's a really cool way. If that had been the design of the fight from the beginning, I think that would have been a really cool way of increasing the difficulty, while changing up the style of this boss mechanically, but also not taking away the focus move. Because the focus is a very offensive tactic, and you can hurt their stamina a little bit by attacking, but not a whole lot. You would really need to parry. And the idea that the whole game is kind of built around these cleverly designed boss fights. And then I get to the final boss, and the first phase of the final boss feels like it's designed around this really cheap limitation where it's only hard because they're taking something away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second phase of that boss fight is a much better designed version of that same fight where I then have to change my style of fighting to react to their style of fighting, which is what I've been doing throughout the entire game. And I could do that whether I had the focus attack or not. And so it just makes me wonder why take that away?
Right.
And that just, it's a little thing, but it bothered me very deeply on like this fundamental level where, like I said, for the first time the game felt demoralizing when I lost because I didn't have this tool in my disposal and I saw no good reason for the game to take it away. So other than that though, the game is really, really cool. And it's very satisfying to go back to some of the earlier levels that when I first started were really challenging and then just wipe the floor with all those people. To fight the first boss again and get through it without dying
Mm-hmm.
feels really satisfying to know like, oh, I've got your number. I know exactly how to combat everything you throw at me and you can't even touch me.
Right.
But I will say because I started looking up stuff about it after the fact, after I'd kind of given up on the boss, I found some videos on YouTube of the PC version. And the PC version, if you want to share the screen, has some mods in them. And one of them was really, really cool. This particular mod has the old season 1 Daredevil costume.
Oh, I guess I'll keep the audio on. So they recreated the Daredevil Halcyon fight.
Pretty much, yeah. And what's neat too is like this mod adds in moves. It adds in like kicks that aren't in the main game.
Uh-huh.
And I've also seen they've modded in John Wick so you could play with him. They've modded in Batman so you could play as him. And it just seems like it's a really cool mod scene that kind of pays homage to all the great
Yep.
kind of martial arts stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, I just love people that I like modders that use creativity and the love of a game and the love of media as opposed to the modders that are just looking to cheat.
Yeah.
By the way, I am totally addicted, but if you want to watch something that's a lot of fun, I don't play Rust. Did I mention this last week about the Twitch streamer, and also he does YouTube videos. Actually, I discovered him via YouTube. Out of Australia, who is an admin for servers in Rust. Now, I don't play Rust.
I vaguely remember you mentioning something about this.
Guy named Komomo, who is fairly famous within the Rust community, and he is an admin who goes into the servers that he admins for and he finds cheaters, which is what admins do, but he fucks with them. His whole shtick, I guess you would call it, is that he wants to catch the cheaters, abuse the cheaters, let them know that they are cheaters and that they can't come back to this server, and then make their lives so miserable that they never come back. His point is to piss them off. Like the more angry they get of him wrecking their shit and him doing stuff to them, the funnier it is. And it's, if you have not discovered Komomo, even if you're not a Rust player, I've learned a lot about Rust. I think if I ever did Rust, I would make sure to go to a server where he is an admin. But yeah, thank you for the link, AC Wraith. Yeah, Komomo_10, and you can find him on YouTube. You can find him on Twitch. He's hilarious, and he just gives me such faith. It's so nice to see karma on cheaters, especially in a game like Rust, where you have aimbots and ESPs that allows you to be able to see people across the map that you're not supposed to be able to do, and speed hacks and all of that. It's really it's so satisfying to see those people get not just banned, but humiliated, infuriated, and then get banned.
Hmm.
It's a bit sadistic, but also kind of like you sort of deserved it. And I don't know how I got onto that subject, but modders, I guess it was talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
modders.
modders.
I have developed a new hate for cheaters simply from watching Komomo, and love for them as well, because they're so miserable, and when they get caught, it is so good to just pull their wings off like they're like just like you're doing it to a fly. It's really, really nice to see.
Okay,
So, hey, you
moving
got
on.
Bitters in the chat room. How you doing, Bitters? Slow day in the chat.
Yeah.
So, any other games?
Yes. So now that I'm done with Sifu and it has been 3 weeks since Elden Ring first came out, I have started playing a pair of games from 2016.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk Elden Ring. All right.
I've started playing a game that went on sale a while ago called Grow Up. And it's a sequel to this indie game called Grow Home. And it's basically just a platforming climbing game. You play as this little robot whose ship like crashes on this planet and you have to put it back together. So you just platform your way around this little open world trying to find pieces of your ship. What makes it unique is the controls. You have a real strong sense of momentum. When you push the control stick forward, your guy doesn't immediately start moving. He kind of slowly ramps up and then starts running. And it's a little awkward at first, but the way climbing is, each of the trigger buttons on the controller represents your hand grabbing a surface. And you kind of control each hand individually with the control stick, but just one control stick. So what that means is you can actually get into a really satisfying pattern of climbing where you kind of hold the control stick up and then go left, right, left, right, left, right. And your character kind of clomp, 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 clomp and climbs. And it's a simple system, but it's so satisfying when you see like a super tall tree and you just kind of climb your way all the way to the top of it and then find a little piece of your ship and jump off to try to get somewhere else. The whole game is designed around these plants. You can kind of these trees and they have seeds sticking out of them. And if you latch onto a seed, it'll start growing like a tentacle and you kind of have to steer it into these floating islands that will basically feed it and make the tree grow bigger. And so I think they're like 3 or 4 big trees on this little open world planet. And the game is really just go around this open world, build these trees as tall as you can, which will you get big enough that you kind of start climbing into the upper atmosphere of the planet. What was cool about the first game is eventually you get into literal space, like you pass the clouds and start climbing into space. And of course, then when you jump off, it's this huge long way down. But it's a very simple game, but the controls, because of how they work, it touches on just really satisfying incremental progress. That progress of climbing, that process of climbing. Just one hand in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, and just get as high as you can. And it's a really cool come down game. You know, after a stressful show, after a stressful game, come and play this and just kind of have a nice relaxing time of climbing up a tree. Yeah. Grow Up is a super fun game. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Sounds like it's just like a nice, casual.
Yeah,
Just roll through it.
just roll through it, collect ship pieces, jump off of trees. If you smash into the ground, you just kind of respawn at certain points, and there's no punishment.
Nice. Nice.
And then I've started replaying The Witness, which is I think it's a seminal video game in the whole videography of video games. It's a puzzle game, the second game by Jonathan Blow, who made Braid.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the one where you're on this island. It's a beautiful island. And it's basically just a series of grid puzzles. And you go through the whole game solving these types of grid puzzles. But the way the game is structured, the whole island is this open world. And as you explore, you'll come across grids that have weird symbols on them that you don't know what it means. And these basically act like keys. In some games like a Doom, you need to find the blue key to get through the blue door. In this game, what's cool is it basically uses knowledge as a literal key, where you have a door with a certain symbol on it and you don't know how that puzzle works. You don't know how to solve it. So you have to explore, and eventually you'll find a series of puzzles that walk you step by step through what does this symbol mean. And it doesn't do it with text at all. It's all just mechanical process learning, just visual learning, where you start with, hey, cat, stop scratching the couch, god damn it. You start with like a series of 1x2 grids, but that's really easy, and then it increases to 2x2, then 2x3, then 3x3. And so in that process of slowly expanding the grid, you start to realize, oh, that's what this symbol means. And it's such a cool, the whole game is like this essay about the process of learning, about being willing to experiment with things, to try a theory, see it fail, and then rethink your assumptions. And the way the game is designed, it's just that over and over and over again, where you're constantly having to rethink how you view not just these grid puzzles, but rethink your entire assumptions about what the puzzles the game is offering. Rethink your assumptions about what this world is offering. Because the puzzles, the grids, the lines start to bleed into the actual environment in ways that the puzzles literally change the way you see the world. And it's so cool. It's just a game that's one brilliant light bulb moment after another. We are staring at this grid going, what do I do? And suddenly you get it. And you're like, oh, I understand now. And with that understanding, all of a sudden, I can go unlock this other door now. I can go do this other thing. And so each light bulb moment feeds into more light bulb moments. And it's just snowball effect of knowledge that comes from puzzle solving. And it's so, so cool. I've always wanted to go back to it. I loved it when it first came out in 2016. I still love it now. It's a fantastic game.
I don't know. This seems like it sounds fun, but I'm watching the preview that I'm playing on right now of the solutions and the puzzles, and they make no sense to me.
Exactly, because you don't know the rules. All you're doing is just seeing a line drawn. You haven't gone through that process of learning what each of these symbols means. And that's the game. You're not supposed to know it now. I think it's a really cool puzzle game in that it's not really a puzzle game you can cheat at, because even if you look up the solution, because of the way each puzzle builds on top of a previous puzzle, if you just look up the line solution, you won't be able to solve the next puzzle because you don't know what the symbols mean. Even if you look up the solution, you have to look up why that is the solution. You still have to understand the logic of the puzzle. You still have to understand the rules. You're still learning what the puzzle is trying to get you to learn. Even if you look it up, you're just learning it in a different manner. Like, the game is all about teaching you knowledge. And if you look up the solution, you still have to internalize the logic of that puzzle to do the next puzzle. So you can't really cheat at the game. No matter what, you're learning the logic and the rule systems of these puzzles.
Yeah, I don't know if what did you play this on? Was it a console game?
Yeah, PlayStation.
Oh, okay. Is it on Xbox?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it is.
If it's on Game Pass, I might be interested in it, but I think I'd have to be in it to see if I actually like it.
It might be.
Why is it called The Witness?
I don't actually know.
Oh, okay. So it's nothing to do with the Amish, huh?
Amish?
The movie The Witness about the
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
the witness protection program. Amish girl sees a murder.
Harrison Ford?
I think it was.
Okay. No, it's not on Game Pass.
According
But
to
if-
AC Wraith, the game is available on PC, PlayStation consoles, Xbox consoles, Mac, and iOS. Oh,
If you ever see it on sale, highly recommend picking it up. Might just be one of, I think, the best games ever made.
iOS, so it's a mobile as well.
Yeah.
That might be worthwhile. Anything else?
Yes, I have actually played some Elden Ring.
Okay.
Uh,
Yes.
last night I was able to put in a few hours of it. And right off the bat, it took me a little while to reconfigure my brain from Sifu to Elden Ring because Sifu is a much more faster paced game.
Mhm.
And the combat here, just every aspect of it is slower. So I'm dodging and going, wait a minute, why am I still getting hit? I'm dodging so slow. Okay, I need to rethink the pace of how I act. I need to rethink when do I want to react to these things.
Mhm.
But it's interesting to see how they have managed to take the Dark Souls formula and put it into an open world game. I've not explored the open world that much because, like I said, I've only done it for a couple hours. But in just those couple hours, the way the game points you in a direction is you find these checkpoints, and the checkpoints are sites of grace, which are the bonfire equivalent in Dark Souls, which are basically rest here to refill your health, refill your potions, and all the enemies respawn. If you rest at some of those, when you're done, you'll see like little beams of light kind of going up into the sky in a certain direction. And that's just telling you, hey, go in that direction. Like that's
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay. Like that's the central path. That's the main path. The story path for what, I don't know, little story there is. And that's the game kind of trying to point you, give you some sort of structure and not just leave you to wander this world completely aimlessly. You can kind of see a little bit one right there in the video. And that's really helpful, especially in the early game when I'm faced with a world that is very open with not a whole lot of direction of where to go. But even following that path, what's neat is there's so many things to do on the side. As I'm exploring, I come across a group of soldiers that are kind of camping in the woods. And unlike in Dark Souls, you can stealth in this game. And so, almost like a Far Cry game, I crouch down, hide in the bushes, and kind of go around and systematically take out each of these guys camping in the woods. And then I discover a cave, and there's like a wolf pack in the cave. And then in the back of the cave, there's a fog gate that represents a boss. And so all of a sudden, in like the first 40 minutes, maybe not the first 40 minutes, because there's a tutorial section. But the first 40 minutes that I'm out in the open world, I've found a way to deviate from the main path in a way that kind of replicates the Dark Souls dungeon dive, where I find a cave, I go through it, I see that there's a boss, and then I realize it took all of my health to defeat the enemies to get to this boss. I'm going to kind of back out, spend all my souls, spend all of my runes in this game on something, and then I'm going to come back and try to beat this boss. And that process of delving into a dungeon, finding a boss, kind of testing out your limits with it's a mini Souls game in 40 minutes. This little cave that I came across. When I stopped playing, I was at these someplace called like Stormwind Gate or Stormgate, something like that, which is the first big castle of the game. And the castles are more of a classic Dark Souls dungeon, where it's a very big environment that's kind of a linear path that ends in a big boss. So that's kind of next on my Elden Ring quest is to delve into the first of their big dungeons. But even in the first 40 minutes, I found a way to really embrace the open world. And the fact that I was able to have this mini Souls-like experience exploring a cave, I think bodes well for the rest of the game. The fact that I can have a big, huge, chunky Souls-like experience trying to delve into these castles, and then if I don't feel like playing for 4 to 5 hours on a night, I can just kind of wander around, find a cave, and get that same loop, that same gameplay loop, but in a much tighter time constraint.
That's kind of a clever way to do it.
Yeah.
Have a bigger game and then lots of littler mini games of itself within these smaller confines.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of pick what you want to do for that evening.
And I've heard one of the biggest compliments about the game I've heard on various podcasts is that one of the big frustrations with any Souls-like game is because they're pretty linear, eventually you get to a boss that kicks your ass, and there's not much you can do about it other than grind out levels to make yourself stronger, or just keep fighting the boss until you win.
Mm-hmm.
With this game, because it's a huge open world, if you get to a boss that kicks your ass and you're having trouble with it, you can just bounce out and like go explore something else. Just start walking in the other direction and you have like an entire game's worth of stuff in that direction to deal with. And that makes what other people have said is that really eases the frustration that you can get from a lot of Souls games of bashing your head against one boss over and over again.
Right.
You don't have to do that in this game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It almost makes me want to play it. Almost.
It's funny because this game is like absolutely blown the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like it has sold more than any of FromSoft's games by a country mile.
Yeah. It's huge. It's everywhere.
It is. I think I was seeing that like it outsold Horizon Forbidden West by almost 2 times.
Yeah. I just got back before the show from a walk with my neighbor who is not a video game player. He is a 50-something gay art dealer. All right. From Florida. He is not game at all. And he's like, so I guess there's this game out, Elden something, that it's like, how do you know about that? I go, I've read about it. It's actually entering the general news consciousness.
Yeah, it's broken into the mainstream in a way that nothing else they've done
the
before
way that
has.
the Wii did originally, in that people are like, or Grand Theft Auto, where all people know about it. They don't know anything about it, but they know that there is this new game out that everybody's playing.
Yeah. And so it's interesting to know that, because that means there's a whole group of people that have never played these type of games before coming to this type of game. And
like me, I'm very, 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 very tempted. It's a little bit pricey for something that I'm almost entirely sure that I'm going to hate.
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not going to be good at and I'm not going to enjoy, but I'm still really curious. The open world part of it really does make me curious.
Yeah. And it is a cool world. The first thing I did when I walked out is, excuse me, like I knew the game was pointing me in this direction, but the
Mhm.
first thing I did is turned around and saw, oh, there's a whole world in the opposite direction. I kind of want to go there, but I know I don't yet even have the ability to level up.
Mhm.
Maybe I should just follow the main path until I get the ability to level up. Then I can just go fuck off into whatever direction I want.
Right. Right. So cool.
Yes.
This does not make me want to play it less, unfortunately.
I mean, there's like, you don't have to play it. Like, there's no shame in not wanting to play it.
No, but I kind of wanna. The more I see of it, the more I hear about it, the more I kind of wanna.
Wait for it to go on sale,
Yeah.
right? I
True.
remember
Or
I
come to
felt,
or come to Game Pass and then I'll do it.
yeah. I felt the same way about Returnal. I was like very wishy-washy on it, and then I bought it on sale and I ended up loving it.
Mhm.
But I've bought plenty of other things on sale that I ended up hating and was happy that I didn't spend too much money.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. So any other games before we hit the news?
That is all I've been playing.
All
But
right.
I will say in the Discord and in the chat a little bit too, AC Wraith has been talking about his experience with the Tomb Raider trilogy. And yeah, he's mentions that Shadow of the Tomb Raider is definitely the lesser of the three. The last one is the least. I still think the first game in that trilogy is the best.
Right. I think that was the one that I played after that. And I didn't play it all the way through. I played enough of it where it's like, yeah, okay.
Mhm.
I'm not emotionally invested
Mm.
in the Lara Croft thing. All right. So let's hit wait for it. Stand by. Let's hit the news. No, not that. No, not that.
Oh.
Trying to figure out how to do this without doing it.
No, no goalie. I have never played a Womb Raider.
There we go. This is the GameHounds news, the news, news, and commentary of the week in gaming with Nick DiNicola and Edie Sellers. And our first item is
They're making an HD remake of the Womb Raider trilogy.
the who?
Womb Raider.
What is Womb Raider?
Something goalie has mentioned. I think it is a real game.
Womb Raider, really? I
It
think that must be a porn flick.
Oh, absolutely. But I think it is a real. Oh, yep, it actually is. Google.
You want to share that? I think that needs a share.
Okay, it's on. I am on. What's it called? That movie website.
IMDb.
Yes.
Share the screen.
Okay, here we go.
There it is. Womb Raider
came out in 2003.
Kara Loft meets a reclusive art collector.
Dr. Scrotus.
Oh man, I don't have a lot of respect for the porn industry, but I gotta say that the guys that actually write the stories, and I'm using that term very broadly, the stories to these porn flicks when they're doing a spoof of another thing, they must be laughing their asses off when they do it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the link. There you go. Womb Raider 2003. In search of 3 sacred wombs. Oh, God.
Randolph Scott's Womb Raider.
So, first item is Nick.
First item. We'll start with the like big picture one. Sony had a state of play showcase a couple days ago, and showed off, obviously, a bunch of games.
A ton of games, a lot of previews, a lot of games that we already knew about, and actually announced a couple of games that we did not know about.
Yeah.
Do you want to go
What
through them all?
I can go through the ones that I'm personally most excited for.
Mm-hmm.
There's DLC for Returnal coming at actually the end of this March, which is pretty cool, and it will be free too.
Yep, it's going to be adding co-op and a survival mode to it.
A tower
Uh,
that you have to fight your way up floor by floor.
right. It's going to have a co-op, survival mode, new story beats tied to Celine's cursed existence. So it's going to be a very, very, very hefty update
Mm-hmm.
called the 3.0 update. So that's kind of huge.
And then Square Enix showed off a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they did.
They showed off a game called The Diofield Chronicle,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of looks like their take on Fire Emblem.
That's what everyone is saying. It's like if you want to ever
Yeah.
wanted to play Fire Emblem on your PlayStation, this is as close as you're ever going to get.
It's a top-down turn-based tactics thing, but it looks really cool because you're not moving along a grid. Instead, characters have a kind of a circle, a radius of movement that they can go through, and that determines how far they can go to do stuff. But because it's not a grid that feels like that's more fluid in how things play out, it looks really cool. It looks like a very diorama action figure playset.
Right. And I guess they're the way that they describe it is a unique and beautiful world that blends fantasy, medieval, and modern day influences with a deep yet innovative real-time battle system.
Yeah, it looks cool. I'm actually excited for that one. Less excited for is Valkyrie Elysium, which is a new Valkyrie profile game, which was kind of a cult PS1 RPG.
Mm-hmm.
And I never got into Valkyrie profile, so I just
And they
don't have the
ended
love
with
for
this
that.
too. So it was like a set in that position of the way things pan out during these shows. You always put the like the biggest drop, the biggest
Mhm.
whoa moment at the very end, and this is where they put the whoa moment
I
was
mean,
returning.
it is like a big game. It's just a big game that I don't have that nostalgic interest in.
Yeah, yeah. The last time that any Valkyrie Elysium game was out was in 2006. So I guess it is big news that it's been a lot of years since we've had any update from that
Yeah.
whole story game franchise. But yeah, that's going to come to the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 in 2022. So this year.
It also looks like it's way more of an action game than an RPG.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then Square Enix also showed off more of Forspoken, the I think it's a next gen exclusive game that we've seen a lot about before. This is about the black lady that gets transported to a fantasy world and has like a magical talking bracelet that gives her superpowers. I think it looks really cool. We've seen more about it. It was also recently, I think after the state of play, it was delayed until October.
Yeah,
It was
October
originally going to
11th.
come out summer, like June.
Mhm.
More of that. I think it still looks cool. They showed off more of Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, which is actually coming out later this month. So this is kind of just one last trailer to hype it up.
Yeah, they've already had 2 trailers before this, so this
Yeah.
is just the third, it's
This
just
this was the
trying to
Final
whip up the
Fantasy.
kids to go out and spend their ducats.
This was the Final Fantasy Souls-like game. They actually put a demo out of it after E3, and I think they put out a new demo after the state of play. If the game, what I remember, that demo was actually really, really cool. I actually really enjoyed the hell out of it, but it also really looked like shit.
Mhm.
Just the way the lighting was, everything kind of looked blown out in a way that was really ugly. I have no idea if they have fixed it. I have no idea what it will look like. Based on the one demo, like a year ago, awesome gameplay, kind of messy visuals, but that's no commentary on the final product. And then I think that's all That was all Square Enix had to show.
Right.
Um,
And
other
a couple other
games.
things, yeah.
There's a really cool side-scrolling game from the developer of Riot Civil Unrest called Trek to Yomi, which kind of looks like
That looks really cool.
oh, what was the samurai game that came out last year?
Ghost of Tsushima?
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
it's like a black and white side-scrolling Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, Trek to Yomi looks really, really interesting. It's a cinematic action game. And yeah, very much in that art style. It's done by Devolver, who always do interesting games. Maybe not great games all the time, but certainly very interesting. And the way that Devolver describes it, they say it's all about quote unquote patience and timing, which leads me to think that it's going to be play more like, even though this is not a similar game, For Honor, in that it's about striking at the right moment, not about maybe even more so. What's that game that we play that's the sword fighting game where we die all the time and laugh our asses off? We played it a few times.
Nidhogg?
No. That's a fencing game. No, it's like where you have two armies.
Chivalry.
It's a bit like, yeah, where it's like you've gotta pick your moment to actually execute. You can't just walk up and do whatever you want to do. So yeah, it's about the way Devolver describes it. It says is that it's about using your enemy's attacks against themselves, reversing the flow of damage being done.
That sounds like there's a lot of parrying involved.
A lot of parrying, or at least interesting attacks being executed at the exact moment they need to be executed. So anyway, it's going to come out spring 2022. It's coming to PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series S and X, and the PC. So they're hitting everybody. I don't see anything about PlayStation 5. It's coming to X and S, but no PlayStation 5.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because my first assumption was it's an indie developer, it's Devolver. There's a lot more PlayStation 4s. Like, yeah, make it for that console. But if X and S, if the Xbox new ones are getting an update,
yeah,
I mean, it will still
be. The thing that I noticed is that he did not mention PlayStation 5.
It will still be playable on PlayStation 5 because 5 can play all the games from 4.
Right, but it's not
just
be
not like optimized for 5. There's no special update.
Right.
And then they showed off a bunch of other games. There's one called Exoprimal from Capcom. That's a combination of Earth Defense Force and Overwatch, which looks okay. Not my thing. Bethesda showed off more of Ghostwire Tokyo, which is coming out again later this month, which
March 25th.
Really, really cool.
Yep. PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Oh yes, right. That was one of the exclusives that was previously like dealt with before Microsoft bought Bethesda, and so now we'll get a Microsoft-owned Bethesda putting out a PS5 exclusive.
Yep. Something else we talked about Stranger Paradise.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Forsaken?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Gundam Evolution.
Yeah, new Gundam game. It's a free-to-play.
It's not just that it's a new Gundam game. It was a Gundam game that was originally said that it was only going to release in Japan, and they announced that it's going to be released in the West as well.
Oh,
so that's kind of a cool thing. It's a 6v6 competitive online first-person shooter, with giant mechs and massive guns, and it's Gundam. So, it was supposed to come exclusively to Japan. It's now coming to the US. They're going to be doing a network test going live in the US and Japan in the spring. That's all he said, the spring.
They've got a collection of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, which is basically a collection of old 8-bit and 16-bit
Turtle
games.
13 of them.
which like that if you're gonna collect them all,
If you
like
got the nostalgia for them, go do it. But
yeah,
I'm
it's a nostalgia play, and like I can't fault anyone for that,
yep,
even if it's not my thing.
yep, and it does include Turtles in Time, and it's coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 this year. So if you want to go back to play Turtles in Time, you can. You will be able to for both the PlayStation and also PlayStation 5. So optimized for that.
There's a game called Giga Bash that is basically kaiju's fighting in cityscapes, which looks like it could be goofy fun.
Mhm. That's coming when they have a date on that? No, I don't see a date on that.
Mm-mm.
But it's a 4 person game, arena brawler type.
And then a fighting game that I would actually be interested to watch because I finally understand who some of the characters are is a fighting game of JoJo's
Which
Bizarre
one are you going to
Adventure.
talk about?
Isn't there only one?
There's another. No, I mean, as soon as you've mentioned like a fight and a fighting game that I might actually be interested in, I'm like, he's going to be talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to play it, but I would like to watch it just because I know who these characters are now, and
Mhm.
I'm curious to see how they translate them into like fighting game characters.
Right. So this is actually technically a remake from
Oh,
PlayStation 3 game.
really?
Yeah, it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. And that is it's a remake of the PlayStation 3 game JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle.
Okay.
It's expanded though in that it's got more characters. It's got a lot more characters. It's got 50 characters in it now. It also includes Jolene from Stone Ocean, and it's coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 this fall.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch.
Mhm.
That show is nothing but characters with wild ass superpowers.
See, do we cover everything that they covered? I think that was it. That was the last item. Forspoken we talked about. Stranger Paradise, yes. Ghostwire. Yep, that was it. That was essentially everything. Do we talk about Exoprimal?
Yeah, I didn't have too much to say about it.
Yeah,
'Cause-
yeah. It's Exoprimal was announced. It is a Capcom game. It's a new game about saving cities from dinosaurs. Um, It's coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. No other platforms were announced, but it's coming in 2023, so next year. I'm sure we'll hear more of it in the next 12 months at least, if not more.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what you missed if you missed the PlayStation State of Play. Let's see, what's my first item? Yeah, since we're talking about games being discussed in 2022 and new games. So we had previously heard it had been talked about. In fact, I don't know if it was officially announced that E3 was canceled. I think that there was conjecture that that E3 was canceled because nobody was signing up for it. Well, apparently E3 is not canceled after all. There was a couple of different leaks. The first one came from a very prominent leaker named Tom Henderson over Twitter. He said the ESRB, who rates all the games after launch, has begun sending out emails to developers. ESRB is connected to the ESA, which it runs E3. The emails state that E3 will be a digital only event once again, so it's not going to be in person, but they are indeed going to be holding, at least that's what these emails are kind of conjecturing, that there is going to be an digital E3 this year. And of course that's being, the evidence is kind of there, but not confirmed officially. Gamescom this week also did confirm that they will be going in person this year. So that other big gaming event, the E3 of Europe, for all intents and purposes, Gamescom will be in person this year. And they'll have a very significant digital presence, but it's going to be in person.
I think the Tokyo Game Show also said that they're going to be in person this year.
Which is interesting that E3 isn't. Is it going to be the only big, like, because E3 for all if it's
I mean, yeah, it's
problems, it is the flagship. It still remains the flagship industry
yeah,
showcase of North America.
it's been fading for a while,
Yeah, but
and
it's still the flagship industry showcase of North America. The flagship industry showcase of Europe is in person. The flagship industry showcase of Asia is in person, but North America's is not, apparently. It's a little late to be announcing it if they are, because it happens in June.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it can't happen
I
in
mean,
person. It can't.
going digital, even when everyone else is not, still feels like it's a way of using COVID to cover up their kind of inability to do something more than a digital event.
Yeah, their slip is showing.
Yeah. It was showing for a while when they canceled completely in 2021 and other people had digital events.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they have a distinct disadvantage when it comes to
So,
scheduling events compared to the other big continents, big regions, gaming regions showcases, is that they're the first one. They're in June.
mm,
Those decisions that have to be made for this to happen in person or even digitally have to be made well before all others. They have to be made essentially the year before and like early in the year before. So when COVID hit in March, that was not enough time to be able to pivot into a digital
oh,
system where
true.
the other ones had until September or yeah, September. I think Tokyo Game Show is September. So they had until September to kind of get the technology to kind of figure out how they're going to do it. If COVID hits in February and March, there's not enough time to be able to pivot and be able to go digital for
Yeah,
E3. So
that's
that
fair.
was understandable and could be reasoned. This year, not so much. Not a lot of excuses of why everybody else is going digital and you're not, other than you're fucking failing,
Yeah.
which we all know it is. As far as other industry stuff going on, stuff is already starting to come. It is that season, my friends. It is game announcement season. Microsoft, PlayStation just had its state of play. Microsoft is going to have another is going to have its ID at Xbox Indie Game Showcase next week. So it's going to happen on Wednesday, March 16th. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. So yeah, that's happening. And then Microsoft also announced this week that they're going to be holding an E3 style Xbox games showcase. This is what happens when you don't hold a showcase and everybody else is. Microsoft is going to be holding their own E3 style Xbox games showcase in June. E3 season. Because somebody's got a showcase. If ESA isn't going to do it, got to do it somewhere. Because I feel bad for Microsoft in this case. Europe has its own thing happening. Asia, home of Sony, that's their home turf. They can have their showcase. Xbox can't. It's got no big showcase to make its big splash on
I
home
mean,
soil,
yeah,
on
they do.
home turf.
They just announce it like they just did. They
Yeah.
just do it
Right.
themselves.
They have to do it themselves, but with
Yeah.
no other hype around it, which kind of sucks. But according to GamesBeat journalist Jeff Grubb, who claimed in a video to show that last Friday that Microsoft is currently talking to publishers about a June event, and this matches what VGC had heard from its own sources. So it is definitely happening, and it's going around in June. Um, And they did the same thing last year because it was right about that time that they made the announcement that they had acquired Bethesda. So this is not unfamiliar territory for Xbox at all. And in addition, Game Awards, they've confirmed their digital summer game fest is also going to happen around June. So it's a bit like Burning Man. I think I've told you this story that early, not early in the days, but like when Burning Man started to really get a lot of people coming and they were using the land because it was BLM land. They were renting it for free because BLM doesn't charge for renting or like a nominal amount. And then BLM started to realize, hey, rather than charging them a day fee, we actually have this other thing that says that we can charge per person if we choose. We're going to charge per person. And the costs of the space in Black Rock Desert would have gone from something like a few $1,000s to like well over $1 million in 1 year. And Burning Man was having none of that. So they went with their lawyer, who at the time was known as Black Lightning. That was his playa name. And he's a good lawyer. He pretty much went to him and said, "All right, then we won't hold Burning Man." Doesn't mean that 30,000 people aren't going to show up. Oh, 30,000 people will show up that week, but we're not going to hold it. It's your problem now. The BLM said, whoa, maybe we want to talk to you. And they started to become much easier to work with. This is the same thing. Just because the ESA doesn't hold E3 doesn't mean E3 doesn't happen.
Yeah.
30,000 people are going to show up, I should say. Well,
it just
a bunch of developers are all going to show up that week. It's just ESA's not getting anything from it.
Yeah.
Which means it's going to be slightly chaotic.
Yeah, like it was the past couple years.
But I think it's not the same as trying to figure out where everybody's going to poop.
Yeah. It's just figuring out what website do I have to go to watch a stream.
Yep. It's going to be, and that is kind of the downside, is it's a lot of hunting down and trying to figure out who's holding their press conference when there's going to be a lack of ability to schedule, like PlayStation obviously is not going to hold theirs while Microsoft holds theirs, but
no, I mean, PlayStation pulled out of E3 years ago.
True, but they have a digital event at the same time.
Yeah, but they can hold it like a month later and it'd be the same.
Right. Well, they don't want to compete, but it's going to be a lot of things different companies trying to figure out when exactly to schedule their thing. And of course, like you said, it's going to be all these different streams. So we're going to have to be stream jumping from moment to moment if we want to follow these things, or just have to rely upon the YouTube video afterwards.
Yeah. Just read the write-up afterwards.
Right. Or just not even view, which is not what they want. They don't want people to not see it. Even if we read the write-up afterwards, we've missed the hype. We've missed the energy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my stories.
Well, speaking of Microsoft, has part of the anniversary of the Xbox's release in Japan, Weekly Famitsu did an article that kind of looked back on Xbox in Japan and actually contains some sales numbers for all of the Xbox consoles in Japan. And it is shocking just how little it has sold. So over the course of 20 years, there have been 2.3 million Xbox units to date. That's including Xbox.
2.3 million Xbox units in Japan?
Yes. That's including Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Xbox Series XS.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize. I mean, I knew it never sold great in Japan, but I didn't realize.
Actually, I don't think it's 20 years. When did the first Xbox come out? But anyways, Do you guess which one of those sold the most? Or which one of those do you think sold the most? Okay, yeah, it is
I'm
over
gonna
the
say
past
it was
20
the
years.
one.
The one?
Yeah.
No. Actually, the Xbox One sold the least.
And this is why I don't. This is why I'm not a professional.
The most was the Xbox 360 at 1.6 million units of that 2.3 million. So a solid like 2/3
Wow.
of it was the Xbox 360.
Wow. Where does the Xbox Series X hit?
It's in third place.
So it has a potential.
It's well, it's in third place considerably. So Xbox
Distant
360
third.
Xbox 360 is in distant first with 1.6 million units sold. The original Xbox is in second with 472,000
Oh,
units sold.
wow.
Distant second. Xbox Series XS is then in a distant third with 142,000.
Really?
Yeah. And then the Xbox One is a close fourth at 114.
Wow.
So yeah, I know. We always knew that like the Xbox had never sold well in Japan, but it's interesting to see these numbers so starkly.
Yeah, that's insane to me. How well? Where did these numbers come from?
Weekly Famitsu.
Huh.
And like to put it in context, the PlayStation 1 sold 19 million units in Japan. The PlayStation 2 sold 24 million units. I don't
Wow.
actually know what the others did, but like 2.3 million over 20 years versus like 24 million for one console.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I,
it kind of shows that
I'm
Xbox
stupefied.
is a real niche thing in Japan.
Yeah, I'm I'm gobsmacked. I'm speechless, and that takes a lot to make me speechless. I'm speechless that it is that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at Japan, Xbox is a failed console for the entire, not just the console, the entire line of consoles since day one has been
Yeah.
a failure in Japan. And I get it that, it's Sony hometown hero, but I just wonder why here in the United States, generally speaking, people people aspire to have both. If you get one, eventually you get the second one. Apparently in Japan, you don't even get the second one, even when the
Well, I think
price drops because it's an older model or, later on in the lifespan.
the second one they get is Nintendo. Or they have
Uh,
basically they have a Switch and then maybe they'll buy a PlayStation 4. Right?
all right. I can see that. Hey, I finally figured out how to get your levels right.
No. Well, good.
Yeah.
Better late than never.
Yeah, now you're almost as loud as I am, if not louder. Okay. So
Cool.
I figured out which button I have to turn to make that happen. So, next item.
Okay, this is an interesting one. This just came into Discord from was it Blood Reaper?
Probably. He's
Uh,
our link. He's our tip bitch as opposed to
yes.
EC Wraith being our link bitch.
This is coming from so Microsoft may have absolutely failed in Japan, but Michael Pachter believes that in 10 years there will still be no PlayStation. That the PlayStation brand will be dead in 10 years. And basically, he says this because he believes that it's a result of Sony being behind Microsoft as regards to Game Pass specifically. That this is all a result of Game Pass.
I don't know
I
about that.
I
I think that's
highly
a pretty
doubt that.
bold statement. But, Michael
Yeah.
Pachter also is known for making bold statements and being
Bold
right some of the
statements.
time and wrong a lot of the time. But
Yeah, he's a coin flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe that. And also, my takeaway from this is that it further solidifies my
Uh-oh.
all business. Oh, damn it. Am I frozen?
You just no. You just dropped out for a second. It
Okay.
further solidifies what?
My fear that all business analysts are taking the wrong lessons from Game Pass. That Game Pass should not be an aspiration to monopolizing the entire games industry as they all seem to want it to be. It shouldn't be that. But they all seem like, oh yeah, everyone look at Game Pass. Everyone should do that. Everyone needs to do this. It's successful. Do it. Why isn't Sony copying it? They need their own. And it's like, no, they don't. They've actually have a very successful games development business without that system.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels like it's the tendency for all of anyone involved in business to love acquisitions, homogenization. Business people love that shit. They love monopolies.
Mm-hmm.
And that terrifies me.
Yeah. Well, monopolies make money. That's why
Yes.
everybody wants to do them.
They're not good.
No.
Everyone loves Game Pass until fucking Mr. Quackers takes it over. Don Matrick.
On Matrick. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's not a thing to aspire to. If Jeff Bezos becomes the new CEO of Xbox,
Everything.
you think Game Pass will continue to be like a thing people enjoy? No.
Everybody thought Netflix was going to change everything until Netflix, or like YouTube TV. Like, oh, ditch your cable company. Except now with YouTube TV and Disney TV and every Peacock and all these other programs, now it's like almost as much, if not more, than just getting cable. Yeah. And way more confusing. Surcharge on surcharge on surcharge. So yeah.
So
let's see. My next
saw that is like I need to complain about Michael Pachter.
Hey, Michael Pachter doesn't make the rules; he just reports on it. But I see his argument, but at the same time, I don't know. I think that's another one of those Pachter moments that you might not want to put too much credence in. In a decade, PlayStation's not going anywhere. There's just it's too entrenched in certain countries.
And the thing is, in a decade, no one will remember he said that.
I'll remember. I remember everything he said. Smartest idiot in the village. So let's see. My next item is, let's see. We already talked about Microsoft and Twitch. Hey, if speaking of PlayStation and cutting the cable line, if you are a PlayStation 4 owner, there is a little bit of a freebie, a little taste test for you coming out. And it's actually going on right now. It's not available for PlayStation 5 owners, but it's for the PS4 and PS4 Pro. PlayStation Plus games members that use PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4 Pro can now get Apple TV Plus for free. No strings attached. It's limited time. That is the only string. It's not available for in perpetuity, but anytime now between July 22nd, you can get 3-month subscription to Apple's Plus TV. That normally costs $5 a month. which is an extra $15. It's not a huge amount of money, but it is kind of nice especially if you are not sure about cutting your services or making changes to your services. This might be a thing for you. Now, to redeem this extended trial access, you need a PSN ID and an Apple ID. That's the only two things you need. If you decide to do the offer, though, be sure to cancel it after 3 months because they will start charging you after that 3 months. It's one of those, they're not going to turn it off. You have to turn it off yourself in order to avoid being charged if you decide you don't want the service. If you're an active member, active member to play Apple TV, you cannot use this to add 3 months to your subscription, by the way. And if you've been a subscriber in the past, it won't work either. So it's only for brand new versions to Apple TV Plus. So all you have to do is locate the Apple TV app from your console's TV and video section. If you don't already have it downloaded already on your TV, once you've downloaded it, open it and follow the on-screen instructions. They're going to prompt you how to sign in with your Apple ID or create one if you don't have one. That's it. It's 3 months for free. But I don't have my PlayStation 4 up, so
yeah. There's enough good stuff I've heard on Apple that I'd be interested in.
There's a couple of shows that are Apple Plus TV exclusive shows that they've made that seem really good. Like there's I don't remember the name of it. AC Wraith, you might know. It's the Apple TV show about a game company.
Oh, yeah. I know that one.
Yeah.
It's got the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia in it.
It's got the guy from Community in it.
Yeah, I've heard good things about
Community.
that one.
I've heard great things about it. And I think, and this is from non-gaming people, I think I would lose my shit on this game. And because I don't have Apple Plus, I haven't watched it. And I really want to. Forget the name of it. It's not Galaxy Quest, but it's something like that.
No. Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to look it up.
AC Wraith will probably find it first.
Mythic Quest.
Yes. That's it. Mythic Quest.
Yep.
There we go. He almost beat you. He probably did beat you, except that we've got,
we just had to put the link into 3 different areas.
Yep. So yeah, I'm interested in Mythic Quest because I think that it's just it's made for me. But I don't have Apple. Kevin had Apple TV. I didn't know he had Apple TV because he sat buying DVDs of 80s television shows and watched them like obsessively until the end of his life. And only afterwards, when he died and I'm cleaning up his affairs, it's like we were spending all this money on Apple TV and YouTube TV and all these other services that he had gotten and never used. So
that's how they get you.
Yep.
And AC Wraith says
AC Wraith says I totally beat you with the delay. I'm going to give it to AC Wraith.
I feel like I'm being cheated out of a victory here.
No, because remember, you said it, but he typed it in before you said it because that was the delay. I'm going to give it to AC Wraith.
From my point of view, I'm the winner.
No. Never. I think Gully would agree. AC Ray says, I had posted it before Edie mentioned I would have beat you. Right. There is that delay. He's got delay upon delay upon delay. So,
anyways,
next item.
Dr. Disrespect has settled his lawsuit with Twitch.
Yeah, I heard about that. So do we know
in what is?
I wouldn't imagine that they would release it.
Like with any lawsuit being settled, it comes with the most anticlimactic climax ever. Where
an NDA.
Basically, he tweeted, I've resolved my legal dispute with Twitch. No party admits to any wrongdoing. So, who the fuck knows?
And this lawsuit was over him being booted.
Him being
Twitch.
banned. Yeah.
Does that mean that he's going to return if nobody agrees if everybody agrees that nobody was at fault.
Probably not. He
Where
hasn't.
is he? Where is he?
He's on
streaming
YouTube.
from? He's on YouTube.
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's disappointing that as with most settlements, we get absolutely no answers to this long-running, years-long question.
Yeah. And I know that Blood Reaper is screaming into his computer or iPod or whatever he's listening to us on at the time about watching the Hogue Law when this it's video on YouTube when this first came out, explaining the details of maybe or maybe not whether who might be at fault when this first came up, when it was first filed by Dr. Disrespect, and about how, reading in detail the terms of service and how that might be working against Dr. Disrespect. So yeah, you might want to check that out. And I'm sure by now AC Wraith has already linked it. And no, he is not, but he will very shortly. But yeah, look up Hoeglaw, Hoeglaw. There we go. There it is. A lawyer discusses the end of the legal dispute, and he's done numerous videos on what this lawsuit entailed and the merits that he could determine on both sides from the court filings. Of course, he isn't privy to all of the information, but at least what was public.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, let's see. My next item is Skull and Bones. At some point, you were very interested in this game until you found out it was announced as being a live service, right?
Yeah, live service multiplayer game.
And that made you go, yeah, no.
Nah.
Well, if you're interested, Ubisoft announced that they're opening up a insider program for Skull and Bones. That's going to provide members of the program an opportunity to get a sneak peek at the game, and also providing data and feedback on the game to improve it so that it doesn't suck, hopefully. And it's not just going to be a series of demos, apparently, but full on playing the current builds that they have. So it seems like it's pretty detailed. That being said, if that has you like, where do I sign up? They have said that they want their participants to be, quote, dedicated to testing work in progress versions. So they want people that are going to do this a lot, not just tourists, but people that take this on kind of as a job, but without being a job. The way that they describe their ideal candidate is a person that has a, quote, keen interest in game development with plenty of time to allocate to testing and reporting issues, bugs, or general feedback.
So be a QA tester.
QA tester for free.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to be. But we're labeling the insider program.
It's the insider program where you get all the fun of being a QA tester
without all that pesky money.
Yeah. None of that pesky
your taxes are going to be
benefits.
so easy.
Yeah.
So much easier if you do it this way. So they're also said that this group of participants they're looking for is going to be very small. They want to keep it, I shouldn't say very small, relatively small. They want to make sure that things are done carefully and it's set up in a way that allows the development team to fully understand the feedback that they receive. They don't want to be bombarded with everything from everyone and it to be a shit show. They want to keep it a nice, small, tight team of unpaid QA testers. So, yeah, if you're interested, I'm sure you can look somewhere to find how to sign up to be an unpaid intern without, an internship.
Yeah.
And thank you for the link for that, AC Wraith. They also posted a link to a video called Mike Monterio, Fuck You, Pay Me. But yeah, if you want information on the insider program, you can go to ubisoft.com. They have information there. Thank you for linking that in the chat, AC Wraith.
In
And
some
I hope
more,
this doesn't become a thing. I really hope that this doesn't become
well,
like a thing that companies do.
all of the employees are leaving Ubisoft over
Yeah.
all of the sexism and stuff.
Yeah. Plus
that
side, you
they
can't be
have to,
sexual. You can't be molested at work when you're working from home.
yeah, they have to get new people in somehow,
Yeah.
and if they can't hire anyone, watch the next Call of Duty from Activision is going to have an insider program associated with it.
Yeah. Yep.
But speaking of Activision, so a while ago, a bunch of shareholders filed suit over.
Let's preface this in this week's the
Yes.
Activision Blizzard shit show. So this week in the Activision Blizzard shit show.
So previously, a bunch of stockholders had sued Activision for basically lying on their SEC filings about, hey, everything is cool, we've got everything under control, when clearly it
That we
wasn't.
don't anticipate any lawsuits that are going to put your money at risk. We're fine.
Yeah.
Nobody's angry at us.
So
Nobody has issue with us.
that suit from back then, there isn't really an update about it, except that 4 more stockholders have filed similar lawsuits with them about that same issue. So
I'm
it's
surprised
just
there's so few
more
shareholders that are filing suit. I'm wondering at a certain point when this becomes a class action, if it can be.
Yeah.
On the downside, is if it is a class action suit, it means it doesn't mean much. It actually probably neuters it. If they have to fight every single one of these individually, it's much harder for Activision. It's not quite such a slapdown, but they may want to do that. I mean, it's better for the lawyers if it's a class action suit. It's not better for anybody else.
Yeah. And also, I don't have a link for this one, but the SEC or someone is investigating a couple of traders who just so happen to be friends with Bobby Kotick, who just so happened to invest a lot in Activision a couple days before it was bought by
Insider
Microsoft.
trading. Awesome, because that's one more thing that they want to have.
Oh, and Jesus Christ, even before I mentioned that, as I'm speaking about it, AC Wraith is here with the link. Yeah, the US is probing some trades by
David Geffen? Wait, as in Geffen Records, David Geffen? Barry
I
Diller, that name is
know
super
who that
familiar
is.
too.
But yeah, friends of Bobby Kotick, who just so happened to buy a lot of stock before Microsoft bought them. The thing is, though, like when you look at the timeline,
Well,
there's enough wiggle room of, hey, this damning report about Bobby Kotick came out, the stock drops a lot. So I could see someone going, hey, I'm going to buy a lot now.
I
Because
almost did. Right? And I didn't because it felt dirty to do it because they're an awful company. But I almost did. It's like, this is a really good time to get in on the Activision. As soon as that stock dropped, it was like, I really should buy.
And no one thought it would rebound so quickly with Microsoft swooping in to buy them. So there's little wiggle room, but also like it's very easy to believe that Coda's like, hey, buddy, you should buy some of my stock because it'll benefit you.
I will tell you this because I've been in the position of being close with the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. My cousin, who never talked to me about absolutely anything to do with when he became a CEO. When he became a CEO, I wanted to support him. I just because he was my cousin and I know he's a great guy. And I bought some stock in his company. And I told him that I had bought stock in his company after, I owned his company stock.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see his he stiffened a little bit. And it was like, I'd really appreciate if you sold that stock. I'm not telling you what to do with your money, but it would be better for me if you didn't own this stock, because he didn't want even the appearance, like if I bought stock and then I bought more stock, or I sold my stock, or I did anything with that stock, that it might have the appearance, even though it was like $1,000 worth. It wasn't hardly anything.
Yeah.
That didn't matter. He didn't want the appearance of something like that happening. And the fact that obviously these are big, big, big amounts, and it is a friend, and they jumped into their friend's stock, it means that they knew or they lack ethics. Ethically, responsibly, you don't let any of your friends invest in any company that you know, simply because you don't want the chance that there could be this investigation.
Knowing who we're talking about, I'm pretty sure it's the lack of ethics one.
Does not give a fuck about fuck all. He is going to his private island. Actually, it may be traced back. I mean, if it is a case of insider trading, who's really going to be hurt by this is not Bobby Kotick. Who's really going to be hurt by it is Barry Diller and David Geffen, because they're the ones that did it. They're the ones that did the insider trading. Now, Bobby Kotick allowed it to happen, but might have done so irresponsibly, but not criminally. But yeah, it's it all comes down to these guys are just jackasses, total chuckleheads.
Yeah.
Total chuckleheads. All right. My next item is let's see, we already talked about PlayStation Play Plus to play. What else we got? No, let's see. Did we talk about the Dead Space remake? Well, let's talk about this. Monster Hunter Rise. I am not a Monster Hunter player. Andrew loves the game. It didn't really do it for me. I played it when it first came out. I think I played the demo and it's like, it's not my thing. Capcom has released a trial for Monster Hunter Rise that's now available on Nintendo Switch Online. And is for subscribers to their online service. So it's available in North America and Europe. The trial is going to be available until March 17th. So that's next Thursday.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If you want to try it for the Switch, all progress that you make in the trial will transfer over to the full game if you purchase it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they're going to have a live stream about it on March 15th. So that's 2 days before the trial if you want more information. But if you want to just try it out now and have more days with it, you can go to the Nintendo Switch online store and be able to pick up the demo. It's going to last, the stream that they're going to have on Tuesday is going to last around 20 minutes. And Nintendo has promised, or Capcom has promised, that they're going to reveal new monsters, gameplay info, and a bunch of other things. It's going to be at 7 a.m. Pacific time, because everybody wants to wake up the week after daylight savings time, the spring forward, at 7 a.m. Pacific time. Technically 6 a.m. as far as our circadian rhythms are concerned, but it's 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. UK time.
What time is that in Japan?
I don't know. I don't care. Probably has the reason why it's so early. You can also watch it on Twitch. They'll be available on their Twitch stream. So yeah, and in other kind of sharp shocks of news.
That's all of the big items I have.
Okay.
I have a couple of smaller ones.
Motive Studios announced this week that Dead Space is the Dead Space remake is set for early 2023, and they did a live stream this week, and they ran through an early look into the audio design process. They're going to have another stream in May that's going to focus on the art design, but yeah, so it looks like that Dead Space remake is coming out, at least for right now, early 2023.
Cool.
And I guess I might as well hit the other small, like, it's coming stories that came out this week. You know what else is coming officially? Call of Duty Warzone for the mobile. This is now official. It was already rumored. It was already like, it's more than rumor. It's like a rumor 2.0. It was pretty sure. Well, today or this week, it became absolutely official. Activision didn't announce officially that they're doing it, but they did post a job listing for a AAA mobile experience that will bring the thrilling, fluid, and large-scale action of Call of Duty Warzone to players on the go. And it's Call of Duty. They said it is Call of Duty for mobile. So they're looking to get a bunch of people working on it. They say they want to fill various positions for quote ambitious this ambitious mission is the way they call it, to bring quote large scale battle royale experience to mobile.
I mean, most of the other battle royales are on mobile, so
yeah,
makes sense.
Yep. So it's going to be developed by Pokemon Unite's. Is it Teamy or yeah? It must be Teamy Studios Group, which is a subsidiary of Tencent.
Okay,
So, yeah.
That's complete shift from what they were previously working on.
Yep. Well, we knew that they were not. They'd already said, I think it was last week, that they said that they're not going to do Call of Duty this coming year.
No, I think it's next year.
Is it next?
Call of Duty
year.
this year is coming out. 2023 is not going to
right. 2023, they're not going to have one because they're going to be released, and then they're still releasing Call of Duty Warzone for mobile in 2023, but there's no official Call of Duty game. So,
and I don't have anything for this. I think someone in the chat might have mentioned it. There are rumors, and I've heard it on podcast, that GTA 6 is progressing very well, and that there might be an announcement this year with a release next year.
Really? I guess that doesn't surprise me.
Just a rumor so far, but
it still doesn't surprise me.
It's been long enough.
It's been long enough. It's due. They're due for a refresh on that. Not just a refresh, but like a new story. Because even though they're making money hand over fist on Call of Duty, online. Grand Theft Auto Online. There's only so much. They're not bringing. They're not bringing a lot of new people into the game because it's nothing new. Everybody that knows about it has played it. Everybody that's still playing it, is probably going to continue to play it. Everybody that's left is probably never coming back to it. So now is the time that they need to bring those people back into the series.
And I think at this point, GTA Online has gone free to play, because I heard that the next gen PS5 and Xbox Series versions of GTA 5 are actually coming out for just $10 for a limited time, and then I think they're going up to full price. But at first, it's just $10 to upgrade to like the PS5 Xbox Series version. And so if that's the case, like the single player version of the game and the online version of the game have kind of diverged now.
Right.
So they could put out GTA 6 and then keep GTA
and have no
online.
online component, and then have a year later, 2 years later, do GTA 6 online.
Yeah, just update the online with
just make them
a new coat of paint. Yeah, or just put out GTA Online 2 and like have a system built from the ground up to be like an online game.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Lots of things they could do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's nice. It's good to be successful. Gives you lots of options.
Yeah. Sure. Uh, this also came from Blood Reaper in the Discord. PS5 scalpers are starting to lose money. This comes from a Forbes report that used data from StockX, which is a secondary market seller, that PlayStation 5 resellers are getting about 30% less now than they were when the console just came out. So the Xbox Series resellers have held relatively firm, but the cost of buying a PlayStation in the secondary market has started to decrease fairly significantly
I'm
from
amazed at how
launch.
long that took.
I mean,
That's a year, more than a year. A year and a
the
half.
the PlayStation has been harder to find than the Xbox, so that's probably why.
Mm-hmm.
But
I hope they all go broke.
at least it's finally starting to come down.
Yeah.
And also AC Wraith had a link in the chat that pretty much almost everything from State of Play announced on PlayStation is also coming to PC.
Good.
So yeah, it's a good time to be a PC gamer because you get.
I've actually been thinking
Get
of
a
getting
lot.
a PC for gaming.
Getting a gaming PC.
That's all it's ever going to be is a gaming PC. So if it gets corrupted, who cares?
Yeah, that seems cool. I'm just not someone that wants to sit in front of the PC. I'd rather sit on the couch, but like it's a good
Me too.
platform, certainly.
I also have to get a new couch. I realize that when it's like, oh man, I can feel actually the front boards because my ass is sinking so far down.
Ooh.
It's actually cutting off circulation in my legs. It's like, all right, I need to get a new couch.
Yeah. In that case, you can get like a couch designed for PC gaming. Like you can get like a keyboard tray, keyboard.
Do
and
they
mouse
have
tray.
those?
I'm sure there's something like that.
Oh, I'm looking this up right the fuck now. See, gaming couch.
For PC. I'm looking specifically for couch for PC gaming.
Oh my god. Wow. All right. Let me let me show you something that I'm not buying.
Okay.
How about this one? There you go. That's awesome.
Wow.
Look at
Wow.
that thing. Look at that thing.
The Seatcraft Omega home theater sofa.
Oh, that is so wrong. So wrong. I mean, I guess if you owned a home theater, it would be great, but
Yeah.
no. Oh gosh, motorized backrests. Oh jeez, the headrest lifts to match your neck with
Because
speakers. No, sorry, it's not speakers. That's a cup
Oh.
holder. It's like
Because
speakers inside
what-
and
what-
lighted under lighted
it
cup
lighted?
holder so that you can see it in the dark.
USB charger? Because what I want most out of a home theater chair is something that I can sleep in.
Yeah, you can. Well, it's a bit like with the way I used to play The Sims. Is if you know.
Oh, and the scalper report came from KJ in the Discord.
Oh, look at that! It's got. Look at this! It's got a pop up.
Jeez, it's even got an outlet.
Outlets with the USB cords, and oh gosh, oh
Okay,
is that a touch charger?
Oh wow, it is.
It
got
is
all
a
sorts
touch
of chargers.
Look at this thing! It is insane.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found something that might be more your speed.
All right.
It is the Couchmaster Psychon 2 couch gaming desk. which is something that you can just put on your lap while resting on the couch.
That's actually pretty. I
Yeah,
would be way more interested in that than that stupid freaking couch.
yes, this
The
is
couch
actually
video is
not
still
too
going
bad.
on. The couch video is still going on with other motorized
Really?
silly crap. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, when I used to play The Sims back in the old days when I played the Sims 3, one of the things, one of my cheats that I would do when I first started is rather than use my limited funds to buy a bed because the quality of the bed changed how long you had to be asleep. They had this one reclining chair that was the most high-end chair in the whole game, and it was less expensive than a bed, a good bed.
Hmm.
So you'd buy the high-end chair, and then you would just sleep in the chair, and you would get a better sleep than if you bought a lower-end bed. And it was about the same price as a low-end bed. There we
Yeah,
go.
that's
The
a good hack.
Couchmaster Psycon Squared Black Edition from Amazon. How much was that thing?
It's like 190,
Oh,
I think.
good lord. That's expensive.
Also, proper attribution. The PC game story came from KJ in the
Okay.
Discord.
Thank you, KJ.
Everything from State of Play coming from to PC.
Yeah.
AC Rithos said he's had some good sleep in recliners. So have I. Recliners are very comfortable.
Yep.
If you can't get a bed, get a good chair.
There we go. Here's our gaming sofa. Here's the Cougar Ranger.
Oh,
Let me pull
jeez.
this thing out. Let me pull this up. I gotta get it in the right place so that you can see it. Here it is, the Cougar Ranger. Perfect
This
sofa
is
for professional gamers.
This is a gaming sofa. Like a branded gaming sofa.
Yep. Yep.
Oh. Headrest and lumbar design.
Yeah, you can the recliner system. You can go back to 160 degrees, which is almost flat.
Why is being able to go flat part of a gaming?
Don't know.
Wait, scroll back up. Scroll back up. They're advertising a 7.5 review.
From MMORPG.
Awards and reviews, 7.5. I feel like that's not super high praise.
Yeah.
Also, I haven't seen anything about this.
8.5 out of 10.
I haven't seen anything about this that makes it feel like a gaming sofa. Like
Yeah.
it can recline, but that doesn't help your gaming performance. Does it plug into anything? Is there no outlet?
No. It looks like it's just a recliner.
It's just a chair.
It's just a recliner.
Lame.
Yeah, it's foldable footrest, tilted backrest, and steel frame. That's about it. But it's also what, $200 it's opposed to, and it's not a couch. It's just a really big chair. It's a recliner.
Okay. I found what you need to get.
Okay.
You might have seen this before.
I'm not getting any of these. I
feel like this has been shown before. This is what you need.
AC Ray says, I slept in a recliner for a better part of a year before I spent my stimulus on an adjustable bed. And that is why the stimulus worked, because you spent it. You didn't just stick it in the bank.
Yeah.
He said, my old bed always gave me back pain. It's a black with thin color lines, like an old arcade game. Oh, that's I guess the gaming chair that he's talking about, the gaming sofa, but it's not a sofa. The gaming sofa is a lie on both counts. It's nothing to do with gaming, and it's not a sofa. He says he needs a good computer chair. I was just thinking that I really should get rid of this chair that I have because it's just a plain old chair. I've had this chair that I'm sitting on right now 30 years? Probably. Let's see. Yeah, probably 25 years at least. Oh yeah, the scorpion.
Yes. This is the one you need.
No, I don't.
See, look at that. Look at that. That could be you leaning back,
Yeah, but where would
looking
I put
up,
the dogs? The dogs have to be next to me being able to cuddle with me.
armrest with 4 screws, triple monitor mounts. Look, you can even see how it fits inside the box.
No. Yeah, no.
Mhm.
Not
That is the real gaming chair.
yeah, that is just stupid. That's just stupidity. That is more money than sense. But that's a
In
gaming
fact,
chair. I need a sofa. And the only one so far has been that home theater sofa that would arguably be any good. Oh, there we go. Pro Gaming Guides, the 7 best gaming couches. Let's see what they.
a series of reviews. Okay.
All right. Let's see what we got. This comes from Pro Gaming Guides, or Pro Game Guides. 7 best couches is the beanbag chair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay, the Jemico faux leather gaming couch. I don't
Was it
know
just
that that's that.
yeah, what makes it a gaming couch?
Stylish modern look. Backrest can lay down when you're done with gaming, ready to sleep. In case you never wanted to get off of your couch, this is not a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. That's just like, hey, do you
Yeah, no,
wanna move?
that's not a couch. That's a fucking futon.
Yeah.
The Moreau Poo leather foldable modern leisure video gaming. This is just another version of a beanbag. It's just a beanbag with a foldable back.
Yeah.
That's all it is. There we go. The Octane Turbo curved row 2 seats. And this is the one that we were just looking at. The first one with the motorized
Oh,
everything.
really?
Yeah, I think that's it. Gel infused memory
Yeah.
foam in the seat and full lumbar support. Button control system to recline. Yeah, that's that.
Armrest with an LED holder. Oh, okay. It said the LED lights on the cup rest so you can see it in the dark.
That's what I'm saying. In a dark theater, you want to have lights on, your cup
Okay.
holder lighted. Yeah, so let's see. The Seatcraft Equinox home theater seating chairs. I think maybe that was the one.
Oh, no, it's the
this is
next
the one.
one.
Yeah, there we go. The
The
Seatcraft.
Seatcraft Omega.
$2,000 for 2 chairs on that sofa.
Mm-hmm.
The Valencia Piacenza gaming love seat with LED lighting. You can get it
Okay,
up to
at least-
5 seats.
At least this one has a USB port in it so that you can charge controllers.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah. Cup holders at the base of the couch. Or a cup. Let's see. Control LED functions which are located in the cup holders and at the base of the couch. Armrests with come with optional accessories such as a tray table to hold food or drinks that wouldn't fit in the cup holders. Ranges from 1,200 to 5,400 from the smallest number of seats to the highest number of seats. Yet none of those.
I feel like what makes a couch into a gaming couch is just LED cup holders and a USB charger.
Maybe we're missing something. Maybe we need to create a couch that is a PC gaming couch, not just this thing you put on your lap. To actually integrate your ability to play PC games from your couch in a way that doesn't look isn't home theater, and B, doesn't look like it was designed for a man cave. That was actually meant to be designed for a home.
Okay, so here's my thinking.
All right.
You've got like a recliner around you.
Okay.
In the armrest, part of it, you have to have it pop up almost like a
airline seating.
Oh no, like the thing in the middle of a car.
Center console?
No, but between the seats.
Right.
Like
I thought I would
armrest.
call that the console. Yeah.
Okay.
Armrest console.
So the armrest pops up, and
Uh-huh.
then you can pull out a keyboard that you can then put across your lap.
Yeah, like
With,
like an airline hiding tray table.
Yeah, and then like a mouse with a cable or even a wireless mouse that hooks in there. But like things that you can hide in the armrest so that when you're done, you can just kind of put it back in there, and then you've got a regular chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
But things they plug in there, so that's fine.
Abacab says those chairs are already in theaters now. The armrest chairs, the hidden table in the armrest, or the home theater chairs.
Yeah, probably the home theater ones. Yeah, like how hard is it to make a recliner with something that hides in the armrest?
Mm-hmm. And not make it look like it, big, black, ugly, offensive.
Yeah, none of these like weird ass gaming racing stripes that are always on
Right.
gaming chairs.
Make it look light and airy, like it's a couch that hides that it's a gaming couch, that doesn't advertise it's a gaming couch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Abacab says it's the home theater recliners. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, one of these days you got to come up here and we got to go to the Cerrito Theater.
Oh yeah, that's the one that you eat at, right?
Yeah, the one that has pizza and hors d'oeuvres and drinks, alcoholic drinks, beer and wine. It's a nice experience. And yeah, in fact, was it when I came down not last week but the week before? Maybe it was the week before that. The I'm having a brain cramp. Nathan Drake movie. Uncharted movie. The Uncharted movie was playing there. I was like, oh, Nick should come up here and we could watch Uncharted together and eat pizza and make fun of it. I don't know if it's still playing there, but I wouldn't mind watching it, especially if it's just us in there, so that we can talk and scream about how much this movie sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess all I got. I got no other news. You got no other news.
No.
What are you going to be playing this week? I kind of want to play Chivalry 2 again. I was craving it. I saw you come online on PlayStation the other day. I think it was last night. I was thinking I should really get him to. I can't do it. Maybe not. Probably can't do it tonight because I have way too much to do. And I love my neighbors. I do. I really love my neighbors. But they overestimate my desire to interact with human beings. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't get that's like you're inside and you're sitting on your computer and you're sitting on the couch and I can see you and I feel so bad for you that you aren't getting out and you're not interacting with people and being social and you're like, why do you feel bad? Well, I just know it's, you're grieving still. Yes, I'm grieving still. And you know what? I'm happy sitting doing that. This is okay by me. You have severely underestimated my misanthropic tendencies. I don't like people.
So do you need me to come up there and visit to satisfy their quota of human interaction?
No, the problem is that I have to satisfy their quota with interaction with me so that they know that I'm not miserable. And it would be great if they could all get together and talk to each other about how much I'm interacting with all of them. So like if I went out with person A, that would satisfy person B that I've been interacted with. But because person A is concerned about me and person B is concerned about me and person C is concerned about me, now I have to go see all three people in order to satisfy their quota for my interactions.
Do all three at once. That way you get it all at once.
I would love to. But person A wants to do one thing. Person B wants to do another thing.
But see, you can say, I want to do this other thing. And like, what are they going to say? No, I'm not going to do what you want. Wouldn't that go against the whole?
Yeah. Well, I gotta go satisfy the neighbors.
Well, Good luck. Good luck with
tonight.
that.
And then I gotta do taxes because corporation taxes are due on Tuesday. And I'm a little concerned.
Fun.
Yeah. Yay me. So probably not gonna game, but if I do get a chance, let's do some Chivalry too.
Yeah,
And
I'll do
we'll
Chivalry.
stream it on our Twitch so that you guys can all see how much we suck at it. How horrible we are at it and how funny it is.
Yeah.
It is one of the more funny games if you have not played Chivalry 2. It is batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And stupid crap happens.
Yeah, it's great because it's a multiplayer game where I don't have to be really good at it. I can just run into a crowd of people and swing a sword like a crazy madman. And sometimes I kill some people and other times I get killed. But it's fun just like
Yeah, it's you running it's you just running onto a battlefield with a sword in hand and just swinging it wildly and occasionally you encounter someone who knows what they're doing, but more times than not it's somebody just like you, so you're just kind of with swords.
Yeah. It's fun being an archer and shooting at people and realizing that okay, I'm going to miss a solid 70% of these arrows, but I'm going to hit a couple people.
Uh-huh. And the fact that it's team based, it's two sides. And it's a lot of people. How many people? How many players is it?
I think it's like 30.
Yeah, it's big. So you're just cannon fodder over and over and over again, and occasionally you get a good one.
Occasionally have that good moment of coming up behind someone who's fighting your friend and stabbing him in the back, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, this guy that we're watching on the screen knows what he's doing, which is not nearly as fun as not knowing what you're doing. Just as long as you recognize it, you're gonna die a lot, and maybe you'll get one swing in.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, and this and they made how to actually put force behind your swing so difficult.
Yeah,
It even makes it harder to play. It almost is improved by how difficult it is to play.
Yeah. And I love the fact that when you start running, you can battle cry and just like,
and of course, everybody's doing it the whole time. Yeah, it's a melee. But it's oddly addicting. Once you get done with it, you maybe have like two kills and 30 deaths, and you're thinking to yourself, let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's aim for that sometime this week. And we never got together last week to finish up
yeah, Little Hope.
Little Hope.
It's still on my PlayStation.
All right. So with that, now I have to go figure out how I can play the music so that I can actually make it all sync up with the recording. Stand by. This will get better, I promise. On that note, let's close this out. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let's try it again. Let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 631. We did record this on Sunday, March 13th, 2022. I've been Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DiNicola. Andrew was absent, but he'll hopefully be back next week. If you ever want to get a hold of us, gamehounds.net is our incredibly broken website that's getting less broken as we all the time as we sort out this podcast situation. But it is gamehounds.net is the website. If you ever want to get a hold of us, gamehounds@gmail.com. We record this show live every Sunday, for the most part, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on iHeart. God, I'm having to get out of that habit now. We do the video cast, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Facebook and Twitch, we are the GameHounds. YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids, VIDS, all one word, GameHounds Vids. Join us at that time and you can see us live. Thank you to all the patrons on our Patreon. We are Patreon sponsored. We are Patreon existent now. We're not for our patrons. Thank you to every single one of you that ever paid even a single penny towards this, because you're the ones that kept this video stream up. Were it not for the video stream, we would have been real deep doo-doo for the whole since Christmas. So thank you. But you can find our Patreons under patreon.com/GameHounds. $1 a month is all we ask. It helps to keep this running. But if you want to check us out on our audio podcast, those podcasts post to GameHounds on iTunes, and make sure that you use the one that's under Wizard Media, not that other one with no shows under it. Look for the one that actually has the shows. That's where they're at. That old one's going to disappear in short time. Don't worry. Have a great week, everyone. Please be safe. Please send out your prayers, thoughts, whatever you like, to the people of the Ukraine. And let's hope that this ends soon and stays where it is. Otherwise, this is going to be a very different show in short time. Have a great night. Have a great week. Take care of yourself. Wear your mask still. Wash your hands still. COVID is still out there. And we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right, and I can stop the music now. All right, so the audio show, let me get the audio show out. Where's the audio show? The audio show is being recorded in Audacity.
Oh, and is you ready to still link the bundle for Ukraine? Good bundle.
Okay, save. Save audio project is what I was, that's fine. Yes. And we are saving this as GameHounds 630. I'm saving this because I don't take no chances that things don't get all fucked up. Good. All right. The show is saved. In theory, this is going to work. It just requires more work on my part because fuck Spreaker. Sorry. Spreaker's awful. Awful. Terrible place. Bad people. They beat their pets and they're just bad people.
They support Russia.
They put their toilet paper the wrong direction and they squeeze the toothpaste from the middle of the tube. Not even the middle. They do it from the front of the tube. That's how bad they are.
War crimes.
Yeah. Talk about a war crime. Spreaker. Not appropriate right now. So not appropriate. So not appropriate. Sorry. And again, yeah, reminder, by the way, bundle for Ukraine. Don't forget to, if you haven't sent any money through that, consider that. So there's this thing that's happening, by the way, just out of curiosity, kind of shoot the shit about Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Every time that you donate to an organization, not saying that's a bad thing, it's a good thing for some of these organizations, but of course it takes a while for your money to get to people, and it doesn't actually go into their pockets. It actually goes into services that help them either to escape or to help feed them or to offset costs to the cities in places like Poland that are experiencing, a huge influx of refugees, 3 million at this point. But a lot of people are wanting to help support random Ukrainians by putting money in their pockets because, of course, if you're running from your home and your funds are in Ukrainian dollars back in your home bank, if your bank goes offline, you have no access to money. So you may be able to save yourself, but you're arriving wherever you're arriving with no money in your pocket and no ability to get more money in your pocket, even though you have money in your bank account. So what some people are doing is they are going to Airbnb and finding people that have Airbnbs in some of these cities that have been inundated or destroyed, and renting the Airbnb and then contacting the host and saying, I'm not going to come to this. I just wanted to give you some money so that you've got something to keep you going if you get out of the country, if you're out of the country, if you've left. Some people are also doing it for Etsy artists, Etsy sellers, that they look for Etsy sellers that are in the Ukraine and then buying stuff and saying, please don't send it to me. I don't want it. It's just money for you. so that they can bypass, so that they know that they can get it directly into the hands of Ukrainians. Now, that being said, don't just go and do that, because there are also a lot of scammers that say they're from the Ukraine and they're not.
Yeah.
Well, also Airbnbs that are saying that they're Ukrainian and they're not. But just keep that in mind, that is a way to, if you want to throw a few bucks at someone, if you do your research, you can get the money directly into the hands of someone that can actually use it for themselves, for their family, to start a new life, because many of these people probably won't come home.
Yeah.
There's just one YouTuber that I've been watching who is a digital nomad. He decided to become a digital nomad, and he's an I want to say UFC fighter, really interesting guy. And I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And I discovered his stream since the invasion. And then I went back into his stream, and he had just moved to, what's the big city that just got annihilated? That's essentially was under 24-hour bombardment for the last week.
I don't know.
Ukraine city destroyed. Kharkiv.
He just moved there?
He bought a condo in Kharkiv 7 months ago, and was like, you go back in time to see these videos of him, like, yeah, I spent $80,000. It's the most I've ever spent on anything. And I finally decided, after all these years of being a digital nomad, to settle down. And I picked Kharkiv, Ukraine, because it's such a great city. And here's my new, how he'd completely outfitted it and spent all the money on the place and buying and decorating it and getting it set for himself. And it's all in his video blog about him being a digital nomad and then finally settling down and buying an apartment. And Kharkiv at this point has been bombed 24 hours a day for the last 7 days. That's where you see those pictures of people that are like old people being ferried across a stream, like because a bridge was destroyed by the Ukrainians to keep them from coming farther into the Ukraine and closer to Kyiv. Kharkiv is like a shit show, and he just bought a condo there. He's American. Just bought a condo there.
That sucks.
And it's like, you look back and it's like 7 months ago, dude. How could you have possibly known that this would happen? So yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
All right. So hey, AC Wraith, can you take care of that spammer in Twitch? What kind of asshole does that? Seriously, who comes on to a show to buy followers? What the
Especially
fuck?
putting it in the chat, that seems a little.
It's just what a disgusting, embarrassing piece of shit you are.
I mean, it's probably just a
seriously,
bot.
how does your mom know how low you've sunk that you could do that? Like, what a fucking loser. Just pathetic. Anyway. So, everyone have a great week. Oh,
okay,
go ahead.
I will say I had forgotten to mention it on the news because it happened on Monday.
Yeah.
But the Kotaku strike ended. The Geo Media strike ended.
It did.
It ended on Monday. So I've been getting stuff from Kotaku all week and kind of forgot to mention it, but
did they say any like how it was ended? Did they?
Yeah, that the workers got what they had been fighting for.
Good.
So it ended well.
Good.
But yeah, and on a slight happy note.
Good. Excellent. That's nice to know. Oh, something that I didn't mention, I had it on my list, but we'd already talked about it enough. You know that PlayStation has a gender discrimination problems. That's not PlayStation. Yeah, PlayStation, Sony PlayStation, the company. Yeah.
Oh,
there was.
Okay,
it came to light. Yeah, Sony came to light that in their PlayStation division there is some serious problems with gender discrimination. So there were 8 more women that have joined that suit this week, and more revelations about untoward advances. Asking like, when women are being presented for advancement, or if there's a job open, like of the candidates that Sony will look at, for example, one of them they cited, there were 70 men presented as candidates and 20 women. The women that were being interviewed were being asked different questions that had to do with their life and their lifestyle that weren't being asked of men, that women were discriminated against for pregnancy, pregnancy discrimination, which is super illegal. Like we don't, that's gender discrimination. That's kind of the number one reason why women get discriminated against, is because they ask them questions like, well, what's your plans for your life? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And they're trying to couch within an innocuous question, trying to find out if they intend to get pregnant.
Yeah, it's like, so do you think of having kids? Oh, you do? Oh, okay, well then,
yeah,
we don't want you.
Yeah. Which is a express no.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it's
so outdated. So outdated. Like first off, that men don't take paternity leave. They do.
Well, maybe Sony doesn't offer paternity leave, so it doesn't matter to them.
Well, they do.
They would
Sony California does, because it's California law. Paternity leave is California law, and a lot of the places, a lot of these women were saying that Sony California was one of the worst actors.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, these are American divisions, not Sony, the Japanese corporation, Japanese side. They've got their own thing. These are lawsuits that are being filed in the United States about their American division. But yeah, men take paternity leave. They absolutely fucking do. And B, it assumes that men don't take care of babies, and that it just, like, a woman's life is to be a broodmare, essentially.
More and more, it feels like there's no good game company.
Yeah, I think that's why I put that in there. Is that it's we talk about Ubisoft, we talk about Activision, and we talk about Epic, we talk about Riot, and we try to ask, try to like think to ourselves, oh well, these are the bad actors. And the thing is, it's not. It's industry wide. This is the way the industry treats women.
I didn't see the thing about Sony.
Yeah, it was look up on VG 24/7. They had information on it.
It didn't seem to get the same level of
traction. Which is also, well, the reason why is that Sony's is untoward comments that made women feel uncomfortable, where things like Activision,
this low level harassment.
Not that it makes it any better, but it's certainly not as big a headlines. It's not, not so salacious.
Explosive.
It's not, passing around pictures of women's genitalia at the Christmas party.
The bar has been lowered, so all right, we can skate on by now.
Yeah. Oh, all they did was make fun of your boobs. Oh, thank God. Yeah, that says a lot about this industry. Is that we're relieved? It's like, oh, it's just inappropriate comments. Whew.
Okay, they just didn't hire.
I was worried there for a second.
Good.
There we go.
That makes them not that bad.
8 women joined the class action lawsuit against Sony PlayStation. Thank you very much. And thank you for muting that link. All right. Thank you for watching us for as long as you have, all 7 of you. You're certainly appreciated. Can't think of 7 people I'd rather spend 3 hours with. But we'll be back next week. Same thing applies that went for the audio show, goes for you too. The website, gamehounds.net. Feel free to join it. Feel free to visit it, see what's going on. It is broken. I'll be the first to admit. Our Twitter name is @GameHounds. Our Facebook page is the GameHounds. Love to have you back next week at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And of course, let's not forget, This is 100% due to our patrons. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you'd like to shoot us a couple bucks, we don't ask a lot. We're not doing memberships at 30 or 40 bucks a year. Actually, yeah. Actually $30 a year. Well, no, 12 bucks a year. That's all we're asking. 12 bucks a year.
Yeah.
Any more if you want to donate because you think we're awesome is great. But yeah, $1 a month really, really, really makes a difference, especially when we have chaotic situations where like Spreaker decides to ask us for $3,000 a year after not for almost a decade. So yeah, thank you. And your help, God, where would we be without you? We really owe it all to you, our patrons. So thank you.
Yes.
And on our Discord, feel free to join us. That's a great
thank you
way to
everyone on
contact us.
Discord.
I'm on Discord a lot more. I
I-
just am not in the GameHounds channel because I'm watching the Ukrainian situation.
Come to the
getting news.
GameHounds. It's a relief over there from the Ukrainian
I
news.
really should. It is.
Yeah,
Or
I
can see it
posted,
discussing supermarket fines.
yeah, I post occasionally, but I do read everything that's there.
And yeah, join us for next week. So have a great week, everyone. Thank you again. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.